Here today with the athletic director and head football coach at Chapel Hill, Jeff Riordan. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
You are welcome. Um, let's talk a little bit about coaching history. One of the things I'm trying to do in these series of interviews is illustrate, if you will, the almost nomadic nature of the high school football coach. Very rare for coaches to, especially assistant coaches, to be anywhere for very long. So if you can, just kind of walk us through your coaching history.
Yeah, I've been pretty one of the lucky ones and hadn't moved around a whole lot in my coaching career. This will be my 22nd year coming out. Started as a graduate assistant receiver coach at Texas A&M Commerce. So that was my first coaching job, coaching receivers at Texas A&M Commerce. And when I was there, I was coaching a couple kids that were older than I was that were in my position group. From there, I got a job at Garland Lakeview working for Flint Rising. Started out as a freshman coach there, worked my way up, head track coach, varsity assistant. The last year I was at Lakeview, I was the pass game coordinator. So I spent 4 years there. I was 1 year at Texas A&M Commerce, 4 years at Lakeview, Centennial, and Garland. From there, I got the OC job under Greg Owens at Sulphur Springs. Was there from 2006 to 2012. Was fortunate to be part of the staff and team there that won a state championship in 2008. And then in 2012, when I left Sulphur Springs, became the AD and head football coach at Crosby. That was my first job as a head coach and athletic director, and spent 7 years down there in Crosby. Very successful years. It was a very enjoyable time and experience for my family down in the Houston area. But the majority of our family was up north in DFW and East Texas. My wife is from Lindale. So then I came up here to Chapel Hill 3 years ago. I've been the AD and head football coach at Chapel Hill for the last 3 years, and just kind of just watch this program kind of turn around and flip around back to the glory days and playing for go balls and enjoying seeing these kids get better each and every day.
Now, when most people think about a football coach, they think about a high school football coach. They think about a coach coaching kids. But a significant aspect of it is your assistant coach. You're coaching them to coach the kids, but you're also preparing them for whatever the next step in their career is going to be.
Yes, sir.
So talk a little bit about that. What is it? What do you do to prepare coaches for the next step?
I've been very fortunate. There's many guys that I've worked with or been on part of my staffs or under me that are now head coaches. Very proud of that. I think that's one of our jobs as a AD head football coach is to prepare other guys to go be in this profession and kind of just spread the knowledge and the culture that we are trying to instill here in our programs. But I think, just a daily basis. I'm the kind of AD head football coach. I'm sure if you interview Coach Blaylock or Coach Mann or Coach Garcia or Coach Coker, some of those guys that have been under me that are now AD head football coaches, what they'd probably say about me is I'm just one of the guys. There's no job too small for me. There's no job too big for me. I got an open door policy that coaches can come in and bounce ideas off of me. Or just ask me questions or get advice on what they should do, outside of coaching or inside of coaching. Just kind of consider my staff an extension of my family. And that's just kind of the code that we live by in my programs, and just develop good men first, good leaders, and the winning is just a byproduct of the things that we do right on a daily basis. And being successful, other school districts want a piece of that. They want to pick those guys off of successful staffs to come lead their program and kind of instill what you're doing at their school. So just lead by example for the most part is what I do. I don't consider myself higher or lower than anybody on my staff, and I'm not afraid to get in there and work with them. And I'm definitely a hands-on guy.
Now we tend to refer to in the media head football coach, head football coach. but you are the athletic director. So this time of the year, it's more about golf tournaments and track and field meets and just ended soccer and all that kind of stuff. Talk a little bit about your time commitment and overseeing programs other than football.
It's a year-round thing. You know, I tell people all the time, jokingly but half serious, that football season is easy. The fall is easy. It's football, volleyball, cross country. Then you have a little bit of a transition time, you know, in the winter between football season and the spring sports, and you have, you know, basketball going on, which is it's a little bit slower time. But if you're like us and you're trying to play all the way to Christmas every year, basketball kind of overlaps football for a few weeks there. But the spring is tough as an AD. The head football coach part of it is really to me the easy part. The AD part in the spring is definitely where the hours are. You could be doing something every night of the week. There's points where in the spring where you have basketball, soccer, track, baseball, softball, golf, tennis. You have them all going on at the same time, and good ADs want to be a part. They want to evaluate their programs. They want to be the program's biggest fan. You know, I like for my kids to see me at golf and at basketball and at track meets and powerlifting and at soccer. So if you want it to be a family and you want it all to be all of us feel like we're on the same team, then you go and support those kids. And a lot of those kids in a school like Chapel Hill are some of the same kids. You know, some of my football kids play basketball, they run track, they play baseball, they power lift, they play soccer. So you definitely want to be there to support those kids. And yeah, the real hours and the real work is in the spring for sure, because you know, if you have a rain out or you have some kind of cancellation due to officials or something like that, you could have something on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every day of the week, almost. But it's definitely, I got into this profession because I felt like it was a calling, and I felt like I would never work a day in my life because I'm doing what I love, but there's definitely a lot of hours put into it for sure.
All right, now let's talk a little football. So you were in a tough district past couple of years, but last year your team seemed to I don't know if you want to say come alive or find its stride or whatever right as the playoff started. So talk a little bit about the team from last
year. You know, I think the team from last year was kind of a carryover from the year before. You know, when I got to Chapel Hill, took over a program that had won 3 games in the 2 years previous. Hadn't won a district game in, I can't remember, like 6 or 8 years. Trying to forget that. But my first year here, coming out of Crosby, we went 2-8. You know, we're playing Argyle, Pleasant Grove, Carthage, plus the tough district. And then that second year here, we go 8-5 and get to the third round. And kids just kind of learned how to win. The culture changed, and winning became the expectation, and not losing. So I think we kind of built off of that. And then we hit the ground running this last year. I think we won our first 5 games. I was ranked in the top 3 in the state of Texas at that time. And then we had a little adversity hit. You know, and that adversity hit, lost a couple of games, let one game beat us more than once. But we pulled out of that slump. And when we pulled out of that slump, our kids kind of got on a roll, broke in a freshman quarterback and a freshman running back. And they were just getting better every week. Truthfully, I don't think we peaked last year. We were still in the process of getting better every week, which was a positive thing going into the spring. But, you know, to get to the 5th round and be 9 seconds away from playing for a state championship, you know, we lost that game in the final 9 seconds against LBJ. You know, it talks wonders of what these kids and coaches did last year through the ups and downs of the season. It was definitely a roller coaster to be riding high, top 5 team in the state, undefeated, losing 3 games in a row, and then running off 6 wins in a row to get in the playoffs and make a playoff run. And with some young kids, for sure, exciting coming into the spring and summer.
All right, so now talk about the kids that you have coming back and what you look what you're going to look like for this coming year?
I think it starts with offensively. Last year we were very dominant defensively. Had a lot of kids that could run to the ball and make tackles, but graduated quite a few of those seniors. But offensively, we're going to have 10 of 11 starters coming back, replacing our center. But besides him, we got everybody coming back. Some of those guys with 3 years of experience. Deuce McGregor and Tyson Berry at the slot have been starting since their freshman year, and they'll be seniors next year. Our left tackle, Kevion Huddleston, who's also a defensive end that has 18 to 20 offers right now, has been starting since his freshman year. So we got a lot of games with a lot of kids with a lot of games under their belt offensively. To go with, 2 freshmen that came on last year in Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart that kind of set the state on fire in that playoff run and just made things happen over and over and over and kept us alive. Those guys mixed in with that senior experience. And another year under their belt, I look for our offense to be, unstoppable. I think they're going to just come out next year and be on a different level than they were last year, just because of the experience. You can't coach experience, and those guys are going to be a year better, and every game they're going to get better. Like I said, I don't think we peaked offensively last year. We were continuing to get better under those with those freshmen leading us. Defensively, we got some cats coming back that we're gonna expect to do a lot of things for us. Corey Johnson at defensive tackle that's been starting since his sophomore year. Kevion Huddleston, who's our left tackle, that'll be playing a lot of defensive end. Day Ross at linebacker, who had a start as a freshman for us when we needed to go get him, and had 10 tackles against Lindale. Javen Mayfield in the back end, who sealed the game in the 3rd round against Kilgore with the interception in overtime. Drew Harmon has a lot of experience in the secondary coming back. We just got a lot of guys. Daniel Waddington is an outside linebacker that had 140 tackles last year, a 6'3" kid that can run around. So we got the guys coming back next year to be tough and make some noise. We won't be starting from scratch by no means. A lot of guys with experience at a lot of different spots. And expect big things out of that senior class next year. That 23 class is really special.
And like you said, you have the experience of the adversity from last year. To lose 3 in a row and still wind up in the state semifinals is something you have to use as a tool when you hit some adversity. Say, hey, this is nothing. Look what we've been through before.
Exactly. And we did something similar the year before. We had to win the last game against Henderson to get in the playoffs. So our kids have been there before. You really don't want to live in that world of having to win to get in. You'd like to secure that playoff spot a little bit earlier. It makes a lot more easy on the head coach. But our kids, they know it's always a possibility. Never give up. The season's never over. You can be the 4th place team in the district and make some noise in the playoffs, and that's what we did the last 2 years.
All right. Now, so most important question. You're from the area. You've been there in the Tyler area for a couple of years now. What's the go-to restaurant?
Man, when we were down in Houston, there was a little place in Atascocita called Italiano's. I'm an Italian food guy. I like pizza. So I'm going to say Italiano's. Man, there's so many places in Tyler. I don't know if I could name one, but we ate at a place called Dakota's. One of the best steaks I've had in a long time. So I'm kind of a pizza and a steak guy. If you got good pizza, you got a good steak, I'm all in that restaurant.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, Coach, and hope to catch up with you again pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me.